York Times. So it's not just our city. There's other cities that apparently this is, well, let me start the Facebook Live, and then I'll love for you to just kind of introduce the problem, and then let's talk about what we could do about it. But yeah, I was just saying I saw that there's a New York Times article on this
Oh, yes.
about fireworks issues. So it's not just a Palo Alto issue.
It's across the country,
It's
really.
across the country, yeah. And I saw that I saw that um, like some people were the conspiracy theorists were saying, oh yeah, the police are taking fireworks and dumping it off in certain neighborhoods and lighting it, which to me sounded really far fetched, but I don't know. Okay, so John, yeah, why don't you just kind of introduce this topic, and then let's get into discussion about it.
Okay, great. So here in Palo Alto and East Palo Alto and Menlo Park, and many people are hearing these very loud and frequent illegal fireworks displays. And they're not, these are not firecrackers or sparklers. These are commercial grade or bigger fireworks that are going off from early in the evening, 7:30, 8 o'clock, until 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Sometimes I'll walk my dog at 8 or 9, 10 in the morning, and there's still the occasional big bang in the sky. So
Yeah,
pervasive, really bothersome to some people who have certain sensitivities or conditions. Some people don't seem to care very much about it, or it doesn't bother them. But I think there are enough people who are disturbed by it, and people who fear for their health, their sleep, and for their safety would like our governments to find some way to address the problem.
yeah, and let me just bring up a. I'll show you the article I was talking about. Let me share my screen here.
Yeah. So it's the one
Uh,
about the people driving by Mayor de Blasio's house at 2 a.m.
I don't know, it might be, but here's the article. Let me so yeah, so the city received 1,737 fireworks complaints, and it uh, talks about this, and it talks about how like this amazing number of complaints about fireworks, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, and they're talking about it's not just sparklers, right? It's like what you're saying, just like major things, right?
Yep.
And yeah, and then the other thing that was interesting was it talked about what the police is trying to do on this, and then the other thing was I can't remember if this is the article that had a conspiracy theorist. It had a lot of conspiracy theorist stuff
Yeah.
in there.
That too.
Uh,
Yeah.
let's see. Did you see this article or no?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen
Oh
dozens
yeah,
of
yeah,
them.
yeah. So yeah, it talks about De Blasio, right? I'm not sure it's about the one in his neighborhood. Um, but yeah, it's who would have expected this issue, right? I think the other thing it talked about was uh the reason why. One of the reasons why is because I think a lot of the Fourth of July fireworks are called off, and so there's like a surplus of like like you know commercial grade fireworks
Right.
being dumped onto the market at really low prices.
Yeah,
So
most likely.
so when did you find this starting? At least for you, in which neighborhood are you in again?
So I'm in Crescent Park, and
Crescent
we've
Park.
had this for at least 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks. So in
And
May, early May, it started.
early May. Okay. And is it every night?
Every night,
Every
every
night.
day. So if you saw the Palo Alto Weekly article, they quoted my wife that she's counted the fireworks sometimes, and there are more than 120 explosions per hour during the evening hours.
Like more than the Fourth of July.
Yeah, but if it goes on for a week, it feels to me, and I'm not a soldier, but it feels like a war zone because there are so many of these going off.
So, um, and from what hours to what hours does it typically happen?
So it starts. There are occasional explosions in the early evenings, like 5:36, 6:37, somewhere in there. But then around as soon as it gets to dusk, they're more frequent, and as soon as it goes dark, then you have hundreds per hour.
And do you actually see it in the sky or not really?
I don't see it, but people tell me if you drive to Bayshore, you can watch the fireworks. The nice colors in the sky. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So are people launching this over the bay or what's?
No, it's just that Bayshore gives you the distance to see over the highway, so you can have the longer sight distance.
Oh, no, but we're okay. So where is this like where is the source of it of the
So,
noise? Where?
so there isn't one source. So we had a call with Chief Johnson with his advisory group, and he told us that that they're happening. A lot of them are in East Palo Alto, but there are some in Palo Alto. There are some in Menlo Park, um, and he said that this is unprecedented, and the police forces are trying to coordinate and address this, but it's a really daunting challenge.
Hmm. So where in Palo Alto is this happening? So in East Palo Alto is beyond our jurisdiction, so we can't do too much about that. But where in Palo Alto is this happening?
It's hard to know. When I called the East Palo Alto police dispatch line to report it, they say, well, which neighborhood is it in? And I said, how do I know? I can
Yeah,
hear it. I can give you a point of direction, but I can't tell you what neighborhood.
yeah,
And
yeah,
East Palo Alto, as you probably know, has spot shutters, so they can localize things. But I think there are so many that it's hard to react to them. And what I hear is that when people light them off, they do it and they scatter. So when the time the police get there, there's nobody there.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing this New York Times article. It just was like the police don't know what to do to solve this problem, right? Yeah. So um yeah, in our city we don't have shot spotters, so we can't really know where it's coming from. What if you were to if you were to guess where it might be here in our city? Do you have any guesses?
So I'm right near downtown in Crescent Park near Middlefield, and I hear them coming from the east, north, and northeast direction, I think. But that's as specific as I can be.
So it's well because Crescent Park's on the edge already, so
Yeah.
northeast. So that would be like
Could be
mid.
Menlo Park, could be East Palo Alto.
Yeah, yeah. So it may not be in our city then.
Well, so the chief told us on this call that they found gunshot bullet casings in 3 instances in Palo Alto.
What? These aren't just fireworks, just like people are shooting
They're,
off guns.
they're probably mostly fireworks, but in 3 investigations, they
Okay.
found shell casings from guns in
Ah,
Palo Alto.
okay. Well, that's a little bit scary. Where do they find the shell casings?
He didn't elaborate specifically, probably couldn't tell us that, but yeah, it's scary. But if the fireworks are scary enough, not only the noise factor and disturbance factor, but the fire risk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we had to cut back the fire department a little bit. I don't know if you saw that.
Uh, and the police department, yeah. So we asked them to do more with less. Pretty
Yeah,
challenging.
yeah. So, um, yeah. I mean, and yeah. I mean, it's going to get the weeds are going to get drier, right? So there's definitely more fire risk, right? So what did the chief say he was going to try to do?
So they're trying to respond to when people call in. They're trying to coordinate with the East Palo Alto and Menlo Park police departments,
Hmm.
but this, there's the limited number of resources they have, and with this, people who light them off are pretty clever. They know the drill, right? They know they light them off and run away before the police can track it and
Yeah.
then get there.
Yeah. So what do you think we could do about this? Because I mean this seems like a hard problem, right? How do we
It's
um
not a simple short-term solution. So you're not going to fix this by the 4th of July. So but you talked about New York City, but the mayor there put together a 40-person task force that includes the FBI, the ATF, the local police, and a whole group of people with enormous resources that we don't have access to.
yeah.
So I think that in Palo Alto, we're not going to really get to the bottom of it. We need to have, I think, a statewide or at least a Bay Area wide effort to pull the resources in that can find to identify the problem more specifically and then to look at solutions.
Maybe the task force has to be between us, Menlo Park, East Palo Alto, kind of us working together, try to solve it, right?
Right. Well, you have an opportunity tomorrow night with a joint council meeting, right?
Tomorrow night? I don't think so.
No. This just happened Saturday. I got the notice via the Menlo Park listserv. There's a joint city council meeting, Menlo Park, Palo Alto, at 7:30 to talk only about fireworks.
Huh, I don't actually see that. So
Yeah.
um I need to look
I've
into
talked to
that.
another council person, and it's confirmed. So you should
Okay, I
ask
probably
an educator or somebody. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know about that one. It's
yeah.
it's with us in Menlo Park?
And East Palo Alto, all
Oh,
three.
East Palo Alto. Okay.
The three
Yeah, I don't
cities.
know. I think it may be just a committee, ad hoc committee, because I don't actually see it on our agenda at all.
I'll send you the link from Menlo Park. I don't have a notice from Palo Alto, only from Menlo Park, but I've talked to another council person who did get it and spoke with city manager and confirmed it.
Okay, let me just Google this right now. Um, yeah, so I guess the people in Menlo Park are also kind of upset by this too.
Menlo Park, the residents there put together a change.org petition that had 1,000+ signatures. So I think that spurred them to action.
Oh, I see here. So it's the 29th. It's a council meeting. It's with East Palo Alto. Let's see here. Let me share my screen. I can show you. Yeah. So it's right here.
There it is. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Um,
So you're now booked tomorrow night.
yeah. Yeah. So if you have make sure that's on my calendar. Um, but yeah. So let's see here. It's so funny. It's not actually an our agenda. Um, so uh, that's so weird. Yeah. So 7:30. Yeah, that's interesting. Um, but yeah, so I definitely could bring this up tomorrow, right? To have kind of like a joint meeting or joint task force to figure out how do we handle this. So has New York been successful um in like stemming the tide or anything?
I think it's too soon to say, but it's unlikely they could have achieved something this quickly.
Okay.
I think the goal is that if we start now, we can probably make it better next year before 4th of July.
I don't think in other years it's been like this, all right?
The complaints are up. You saw that from New York, right? They're up hundreds of percent
Yeah,
from year over year. So this is exceptional, but doesn't mean it's going to stop unless we do something.
yeah. Um, do you think like banning the sale? But it's hard because all this stuff's probably bought over the internet, I would imagine, right?
Say that again.
I mean, it does one thing is banning the sale of fireworks, but I think it's sold over the internet, right?
Well,
It's I
no,
don't know.
they're already illegal. The safe and sane fireworks are the only ones people can buy, and those are the sparklers and things like that. But these are so far beyond that. There's an illegal supply chain or multiple supply chain where it comes from. People driving around in trucks selling them. I don't know, but someone needs to look into it to figure it out.
Yeah, I think rather than trying to start like stem it at where people light it off, because you like you said, it's kind of drop and scatter type
Yeah,
of situation. Probably what has to happen is we have to figure out where's the source coming from.
yeah, that's one of the key elements. Yeah, and then you have to look at what you deal with when you catch someone who lights these off. What's the punishment? And that's a complicated topic, because it's probably often young people, and they don't really understand the dangers of them.
Yeah. Well, I remember reading when I was little. I read this book called Follow the Leader. I'm not sure you
I
ever
don't
heard
know
of
that.
it, but it's about this kid who becomes blind from his fireworks, right?
Oh,
And then he has to learn to operate, right, being blind.
yeah.
So hopefully nothing like that happens in real life, but um,
But
yeah,
every year, if you look at the studies that have been done, every year there are almost 10,000 people that go to the ER because of fireworks in the month around 4th of July.
wow, that's
10,000
that's,
people in the
that's
ER.
a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's pretty serious, yeah. And I think definitely with the COVID stuff, we don't need
You
that.
don't want to go there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Um, so any other suggestions of what else we could do here? So I'll definitely bring this up tomorrow, but is there anything else that we could do to try to like, so I think we could try to do sting operations or something like that to kind of try to stem the tide or cut off the supply. But what else could we do?
Well, I hope you'll think even more broadly than our three cities, because we can't solve it just on three cities either. It has to be at least the Bay Area to have an
Mhm.
impact that we'll feel. And hopefully, the state and the whole country will somehow join in.
Yeah, yeah. Does Menlo Park also have shot spotter? Do you know?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so just East Palo Alto. Um, yeah, I wonder if most of them are in East Palo Alto, then you might be able to track most of them. But I think you're right. I think it's the supply is where the issue is because even if you know where it is, how do you catch them, right? I mean, they're gonna be running off. I mean, I think it's gonna be very hard to catch because people aren't gonna stand there, especially it's so loud and dangerous. They're not gonna stand there and like uh be caught with it, right? So.
And at 120 explosions per hour, how can you track them and respond to them all, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wonder if are they doing any fingerprints? Are they trying to like dust off and see if they could see it's the same culprit?
A good question for you to ask tomorrow night.
Okay, I will ask. Um, okay. Yeah. Kind of unfortunate situation, but it's
One
kind
more,
of
one more thing on a plate that's already pretty full.
yeah. Last week we were up till like past midnight. It's like several nights in a row, and then like the week before. So it's pretty packed agenda in general. Okay, John. Any other words or any other thoughts or recommendations on this?
No, you probably, I mean, you can look at this Google online. You'll see all kinds of articles about it from different organizations and from newspapers. So there's plenty of information to give you background. But I bet people who come to the meeting tomorrow night will be pretty well prepared.
So, um, I'll ask a question about the joint task force and also about fingerprints. But if there's any other questions you can think of between now and then, let me know. Or if anyone watching this, has any recommendations, let me know as well, and I'll try to bring that up tomorrow.
You could ask about any role for residents. I don't know what residents can do because you don't want to charge after somebody lighting off fireworks. But is there any role we can play to find solutions?
Well, I think residents reporting it probably, right? But I don't know if that's timely enough because people are drop and run type of situation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it would be really interesting if the police department start like maybe creating a map of where this is or something, just so that we know. I'm not sure that's going to help though, because they would just move to different locations.
Yeah. The enforcement part is very challenging. I think you've got to go trace those sources down.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Any other thoughts on this topic?
Well, call me back in a couple hours, and I'll be having heated thoughts about it.
Well, I mean, there's a way we could fix it because I've heard this a lot, so I'm just trying to think of how to make some headway on it.
Now,
Um,
I think you need to just have a good direct discussion tomorrow night. All those other leaders are going to have heard from their communities too, so there'll be lots of input.
yeah. No. Definitely. Okay. Well, hey, John, thank you for your time on this. Thank you for letting me know about it, and we're going to try and make some headway on it.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Have a good weekend.
Be safe.
Okay. Bye.